Hi guys, this is Nitin here. I hope you guys are doing all right. Today I'm going to make something special for those who are onto the keto bandwagon and miss the Indian roti or naan. This is the recipe for it. I've experimented with a lot of different recipes on the internet, but this is a combination that I figured out works best for me. It's extremely simple, extremely easy. Let me walk you through it. We'll need almond flour. We'll need flaxseed meal. We'll need xanthan gum. It's optional, but you could use baking powder and salt. That's about it that's needed, and I'll walk you through how to get this done. So I'll start by mixing the dry ingredients together. I've got half a cup of almond flour, to which I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of flaxseed meal. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Xanthan gum helps bind things together. It's like a gluten substitute for keto recipes. About between quarter and half teaspoon of baking powder and salt to taste. I'm going to mix it all together with a whisk. So I've mixed the dry ingredients together so that they're well incorporated. In the meanwhile, I've also heated in a microwave some water, made it very hot, and I'm going to add the water to the dry ingredients. I'm using a tablespoon measure, and I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons. Between 2 to 3 tablespoons should be good enough. And there's one more wet ingredient that we are going to add. That's going to be sour cream. You can also use yogurt or Greek yogurt, works just well. So I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of sour cream. As I said, regular yogurt or Greek yogurt works just fine. Sour cream is easy to work with. And mix it all together. Keep mixing it till a nice dough forms. If you need more water, just add it, but be careful not to pour it into the dough, but rather use a teaspoon or a tablespoon measure to add it till you get the desired consistency. Keep kneading it till you form a good dough, and I'll show you what it looks like. So the dough is done. This is what it looks like. This is the consistency. It's perfectly doughy. It will be a little bit sticky because it's got flaxseed meal. So what we have to do is cover it with a foil or a cling film and let it rest for about 10 minutes so that the binding agent stabilize, and then we'll be all set to make our rotis. See you then. While it just rests, a quick tip. I've tried making this with coconut flour and psyllium husk. It turns out okay, but it's too coconutty, not to my liking. This is the closest that it gets in terms of taste to roti or Indian bread. In terms of the stretchiness and consistency, it is not quite there, but it's closest as it can get to an Indian bread. So the dough has been sitting for about 10 minutes or so. Still going to be very sticky, so I'm going to spray it with some oil, and let's try to coat it with oil so that it becomes workable. Then we're going to make small balls out of it to roll our chapatis. about this size, and lay it out on a parchment paper, or I've got these very cool silicone baking sheets. So I'm going to lay it on them, get another one. Coating with oil just helps the rolling process better. I've tried the rolling, the patting, every process. I think this works the best. And let's roll it out to a near round shape, and then we'll cut it using some pan into a round shape. Okay. As we do this, I'm heating a skillet. I like to cook on cast iron, and if you season cast iron properly, it becomes super non-stick. So I'm going to use a cast iron skillet. So let me roll this out and show you how I'm going to bake these. So here's my pan, nice and hot, and I'm going to lay down the roti down here. You can hear the sizzle. I'll show you how to flip it. So this is going to need about 90 seconds of cooking each side. When you flip the first one around, just be careful, because on cast iron the first one tends to stick and the rest just works okay. So be careful with the first one while flipping. Look at that, how gorgeous it looks. I've just flipped it. It turned out well, and I'll show you once my entire batch is done. So guys, here's my rotis. They're nice and soft and pliable. The quantities I shared actually made 4 medium-sized rotis and one shaped like the map of the world. So yeah, do try these at home. Let us know how it tastes, and like the video. Bye guys. I'm making a bonus video for you. I was just cooking a sabzi with my rotis, so I thought I'll just make a quick and easy video of a quick and easy sabzi. So I have chopped here a big bowl full of mushrooms and peppers, and I have some onions, some ginger garlic paste. I'm going to make this sabzi now. So in a wok I've heated ghee. I'm going to temper some cumin seeds, throw in some hing, let it temper for a bit. And as the cumin turns brown, throw in an onion. This sabzi is super easy to make. If you have your ingredients ready, the dish will be ready in 10 minutes. I'm going to let the onion cook until it's translucent. I will throw in about 1.5 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste and let it fry with the onion. Onions are almost done. Now time for spices. We're going to go in with coriander powder, cumin powder, turmeric powder, and red chili powder. Feel free to experiment with the spices, but these 4 basic spices will also give it a good taste. So I've also added amchur powder or dry mango powder and black pepper as masalas, and let them fry for a minute or so, and then I'm going to throw in my vegetables and stir them all together. Look how colorful they look. And that's about it. I just have to add some salt, let these vegetables cook to desired level of crunch, and then we'll be ready to serve. I didn't have green pepper, otherwise it would have looked like a garden. You can add green pepper as well. I'm going to add about 2 more tablespoons of ghee, because the more the ghee the better. So our sabzi is ready. I have garnished it with some coriander and some kasuri methi, and we are ready to serve. Do make this. Let me know in the comments how do you like it. Enjoy. Bye bye.